Okay, so here's another problem. This is one right out of the textbook. We're dealing with the heights of young women, so that's the base distribution. And then they're asking us to figure out what percentage of women are taller than the man of average height. So basically we're looking for what percentage of women are taller than 70. So when I have to do these kind of problems, I always like to set up a sketch, put the mean in the middle. Since we're dealing with the distribution of women, the mean is 65. And then in order to make use of the 68, 95, 99.7 rule, I draw 3 lines above the mean, 3 lines below the mean, and I'm going to add the standard deviation 3 times. So this becomes 67.5 and 70 and 72.5. Then to fill in below the mean, I'll subtract the standard deviation. So what's that become? 62.5, 60, and 57.5 inches. Now where does the 70 fall? Well, the 70 falls right here, right on that line. That's nice. And then we want to know the percent that are taller than that. So we want all this range, not just this is the mistake that people make. They'll stop right here at that 3 mark, that 3 standard deviations up mark. But we want all the women that are taller up till this tail peters out to nothing. So that's the area we want. Now to solve this, I'm noticing that the 70 is 2 standard deviations above the mean. So if I go 2 standard deviations below the mean, I know this region of this distribution, according to the 68, 95, 99.7 rule, that's plus or minus 1 standard deviation, plus or minus 2 standard deviations, plus or minus 3 standard deviations. Since the 70 is at the 2 standard deviation mark, that tells me that 95% of the distribution falls in that range. That tells me 5%, or 100 minus 95, falls outside that range. So in these 2 tails out here, the tail down here and the tail up here, together those add up to 5%. So since this is symmetric, that tells me 2.5% are in the upper tail and 2.5% of the women are the lower tail. In other words, 2.5% of the women are taller than 70 and 2.5% of the women are shorter than 60 inches. And of course this is asking me for taller, so we're going to go with this number, which is the same, fortunately. But okay, and that's how they decided on this answer. Hope that helps.